Begin today's presentation by paying my respects to the traditional custodians of this land, the Dharawal people. I'd like to pay my respect to elders past and present for their role in preserving a rich and important part of the history of Australia. The learning experience that I would like to propose is for a guided walking tour of the Dharawal National Park. Just as a disclaimer, unfortunately I didn't get to undertake the tour. However, last year, as a part of a family event, we did get to go on the tour. I looked into the tour and unfortunately it's on tomorrow, so I just missed out. This tour takes place in the Dharawal National Park. The Dharawal National Park is a 65 square kilometre national park that borders the northern Illawarra, behind Bulli and Darks Forest on its eastern edge, and Appin and Campbelltown on its western edge. It's roughly 40 minutes from EDAW. The park is home to 17 rare or vulnerable species, including potoroos, honeyeaters, and koalas. The tour itself takes place on the second weekend of each month, and begins at the western side on the Campbelltown entrance, and costs $10. I recently was in contact with the park and they told me if there was informed far out enough and with sufficient people, it could be organised another time. Occasionally the park is closed as it still forms part of the Sydney water catchment and forms one of the crucial tributaries to the lakes. Hazard reduction burns do occur traditionally at the beginning of summer, which would also render the park inaccessible. There are two different time slots for the tour, the first occurring at 9 AM to 10:30 AM. This is the tour of the Ohio Creek Lookout. It's 2.8 kilometres and will take roughly 1 to 1.5 hours. The second tour is the Minerva Pool Tour. This isn't accessible for differently abled people and it's approximately 1 to 2 hours. So the tour itself exposes students to a wide variety of traditional knowledge, including sacred sites and bush tucker. I've included a couple of examples of this within the presentation. The first is related to the Minerva Pools, which to my untamed eye I thought was just a nice spot for a swim. But I was informed that the location was in fact only to be used by women and children. There were many other sites within the park, including axe grinding grooves and drawings. The majority of the tour, however, focused on the local bush tucker and traditional uses of flora. So I've included a couple of examples of this within the presentation. The first one is this bright orange fungus called scarlet bracket. It's very easy to spot, and ever since I've been on the tour, I've seen these a fair bit. The traditional usage of this was for sore mouths, so things like ulcers and babies' teething. They have now identified 2 antibacterial compounds in the mushroom which have been isolated. The next is a flower commonly used for its nectar, as a sweet snack for men while out hunting. It's a Banksia, colloquially known as stumpy gold. There are a number of additional other options in this region that could potentially tie in with a unit of work. The first one is in the Darks Forest area. There are a number of orchards with apples, apricots, and other stone fruit. This could tie into a unit of work around food, focusing on traditional native foods and non-native farm-grown foods. Another option could be the Southern Gateway Centre at Bulli Tops. This is a number of information exhibitions on the local area and could potentially be tied into a unit on local history, mixing both Indigenous perspectives and European perspectives. They also have very good gelato. There is also a number of resources that could be used to support this excursion. I couldn't acquire Terry Rankmore's book called Bush Medicine Plans of the Illawarra. However, this book is a comprehensive guide to the plants of the Illawarra. This could potentially be used as a type of checklist for the various plants that students have to identify. Frances Bodkin and Lorraine Robinson also have a book called Dharawal Climate and Resources. As it suggests, this book focuses on the different seasons and plant and animal life associated with these seasons. So this could potentially be used in conjunction with another tour, possibly to another location or to the same one in the different seasons to compare flora and fauna. Finally, the book The Dharawal Dreaming has a number of traditional stories in it of the flora and fauna of the Dharawal country. A reading of a number of these could be used as a start-up for a unit of work to give students a solid grasp on local dreaming stories. Overall, I think this would be a fantastic tour. It's local, easy to access, is a rich learning experience, and involves traditional knowledge that is often hard to access. This tour could be integrated into a range of topics, including science, looking at flora and fauna, literacy, looking at dreaming stories of local landscape, and local history, looking at European and Aboriginal perspectives.